Now, do you remember a time before the internet?
Imagine a world where every word ever written, every picture ever painted and every film ever shot could be viewed instantly in your home via an information superhighway. It sounds pretty grand, but it all comes down to computers communicating. And in fact, that's already happening on something called the internet, that anyone in the world with a computer and a modem to connect it to a telephone line can subscribe to.
Oh, that takes me back. That was the unmistakable screech of a dial-up modem and the voice of Kate Bellingham there reporting on BBC's Tomorrow's World back in 1994. Well, 35 years ago today, the British scientist Sir Tim Berners-Lee opened up the World Wide Web to the public, sparking a global digital revolution. And it's fair to say the internet has come some distance since then, and it's transformed the way we live, work and communicate with each other. I'm joined now by Andrew Grill, who's a futurist, expert AI speaker and best-selling author. Andrew, afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Gosh, well, I know I remember, those days of dialing up the internet and hoping nobody picked up the house phone while you were trying to use it. Some colleagues in the office here with me had no idea even what a modem was. So it just reminds us of how far we have come. Just how much of a breakthrough was that?
Well, it was a bit of a whimper when it actually arrived. 35 years ago, Sir Tim Berners-Lee basically posted onto a news group to say, I've just created this new thing called the World Wide Web. I also remember that dial-up tone. I was dialing up bulletin boards in 1983, and we had to get a second phone line because people were picking it up. But it's revolutionised everything that we do. I'm in France today talking to you on WhatsApp, which means without the internet, without what Sir Tim developed, we wouldn't be talking. And it's come a long way since, and it's going to go even further.
Yeah, and it seems, amazing now that you can just turn to usually our mobile phone and just look something up in an instant, whereas before it was such a process that it was just that idea now, and you think back of how little knowledge we had at our actual fingertips.
We take it for granted, and I think the web's actually over the last 35 years evolved into sort of 4 eras. We call it Web 1, which was the read-only. We could look at things, but we couldn't contribute. Web 2.0, that's social media. We could actually talk back and change things. Web 3, we see things like Bitcoin and NFTs. And I think now we're in the next era, which is what we call the AI-agentic era, where basically we've got these AI agents that need to be connected to each other, and that is where the internet and the World Wide Web comes in.
Yeah, and you mentioned there some of your earliest memories of being online. Do you remember back sort of what people thought of the idea of the internet at that stage? Were people, a bit suspicious of it? Did they think it wouldn't really take off?
Well, going back to that Tomorrow's World program, where all the sort of things they talked about that we could do, most of them we can do today. I remember my first experience with the World Wide Web. I was in Australia in 1994. I was at university, and I was looking at a webcam of a camera in the Netherlands, looking at a canal. And I thought, this is amazing. I can see this in real time. And I as a futurist, that's my job, to predict these things. Even I didn't predict that we would be relying on it so much today. We couldn't get our jobs done. Society wouldn't function without the internet. Remember the last time the internet went down and credit card machines and ATMs went off the air? We just can't live without it.
Yeah, exactly. Everything just grinds to a halt, doesn't it? Andrew, thanks very much indeed for joining me. Andrew Grill there, futurist and expert AI speaker. AI, of course, being the future now that we do have the internet.